MotorWeek is made possible by TireRack.com, RockAuto.com, State Farm, and WeatherTech.
There have always been a lot of people out there who just had to have a Mercedes. But lately, thanks to inflation and apparently endless demand, they are becoming more of a curiosity than anything else. After all, with a Mercedes, high technology has never come cheap. But for those of you with a spare $37,000 to spend, Mercedes has just come out with a nearly 2-ton, 5-passenger sedan that actually gets over 30 miles per gallon. At least you'll be saving some money after you buy the car. It's the 300 SD turbocharged diesel, the world's most expensive economy car.
Corporate Mercedes decided some years back that they would avoid, no matter what, any U.S. government penalties for being gas guzzlers, even if their usual customers could afford it. Of course, that could mean only one thing if you're turning out cars as big and purposeful as Mercedes: diesels. Not ordinary diesels, mind you. They're too slow. The Stuttgart crowd decided there was only one way to go. They took their 3-liter oil burner and coupled it with the current word in high performance: turbocharging. But you say turbocharging doesn't always make a diesel fast. True, but you'd expect Mercedes to be the exception, and they are. Our 300 SD managed the 40 to 55 mile per hour passing course in just 5 seconds. Good for a gasoline-powered car, out of sight for a diesel. In fact, MotorWeek diesel records were set in all acceleration tests. A time of 10.3 seconds and 50 miles per hour over our 500-foot run means that this SD can at least keep up with the on-ramp pace. Thanks in part to a very good 4-speed automatic, complete with fuel-saving locked-up torque converter, even in a quarter mile, this turbo diesel was no slug. A time of 19.8 seconds and a speed of 68 is hardly quick, but is again commendable for a diesel. And what about fuel economy? Well, the EPA rates the 300 SD at 27 city, 33 highway. Our test loop produced a combined figure of 28 on a well-broken-in car. And the source of all this praise? Well, lift the combination hood and grille, and you'll find a no-nonsense, unchrome-plated, rear-drive, 5-cylinder, fuel-injected diesel, capable of 120 horsepower. The turbocharger is one of the neatest installations we've seen, and you can actually see it under the intake manifold on the engine's right side. Like most Mercedes, service will probably be left to the dealer and your accountant. And what else does a car that cost about the same as a small home deliver? Good, if not remarkable, handling. There is a lot of body roll, as you'd expect from a car that rides as soft as our 300 SD. But the heavy steering is extremely precise, and the entire package handles like a much lighter, more sporty machine, just right for the no speed limits of the West German autobahns. The higher the speed, the more secure it feels. Our emergency lane changing course was maneuvered at 62 miles per hour with no problems. Brakes, too, were impressive. From 30 miles per hour, quick stops of 31 feet with no pull and only minimal fade were consistently recorded. From 55, we were even more impressed. To stop a machine this big and an average of 116 feet is commendable. The 4-wheel disc brakes do their job well. Locking was evenly displaced around each corner. Mercedes has used different brake linings in the front and rear to ensure the best possible proportioning. One of the little extras you get for all that money. The result was good pedal pressure and straight, true halts. Even the turning circle was less than it might have been. At 38 feet, it's not tight for such a big car, but then it's not overly wide either. But of course, when you're in a Mercedes, you always get noticed, even though our 300 SD doesn't have extraordinary styling. But the Stuttgart folks did extensive wind tunnel work, and with lots of rounded corners, this 4-door is one of the most aerodynamically clean sedans anywhere. The tapered hood and elevated trunk give a gentle overall wedge shape. A deep front air dam and expertly sealed body panel gaps also go a long way to reducing friction to make sure you're getting every possible MPG. And inside you can really feel where your money is going. The leather seats are orthopedically designed with full power adjustments. The wide, flowing dash is trimmed in real, as in non-imitation, wood, and curves gently into a hooded instrument cluster containing all the normal gauges, without, unfortunately, a turbo boost gauge. Warning lights, however, we found dimly lit and partially hidden behind the steering wheel. The fully electronic Becker radio cassette combo is one of the most expensive and best sounding available, but its soft touch controls weren't very sensitive, and a driver will be distracted from the road when tuning distant stations. But if all this class makes you yearn to be charitable, each 300 SD comes equipped with its own Good Samaritan first aid kit. I was surprised that the Benz wasn't quieter than our recorded 68 decibels, though that's still something of an achievement for a diesel. Any 5-cylinder engine is inherently vibration-prone, but unlike many oil burners, its sound is more like a loud purr than an irritating clatter. Since a lot of luxury cars costing less than half the 300 SD's price have more posh options, why does it sell so well? Obviously, my dear Heinrich, it's because the S in SD stands for status. And no other car can you flaunt your good fortune while patting yourself on the back for pinching your Pfennigs. And if Mercedes has its way, their top-of-the-line 300 SD turbo diesel will continue to make us green with envy, while satisfying those status seekers with a lot more folding green to spare.